fair bit here, but you can come out and it's rough day. That's bad. I don't know. Okay, there we are, there we are. Things have been rocky for the past couple days. I don't know what's up with that. But, welcome back to the stream. Said I'd stream with this on, so here it is. No, I could have figured out an elaborate solution, put it on better. Nah. If it falls, it falls. We might put it back on, we might not. But, oh well, it goes with the Rambo merch I'm wearing. So, does not go with the lipstick I'm wearing. But hey, that was personal choice. Yeah, last stream was last stream, but hey. I know I was intending to do this stream early, and that totally did not happen. Specifically, I had family over. So, one of my cousins showed up and that was nice, but also, I didn't know she was coming. So, she's lucky she's one of my favorites, is what happened. But yeah, welcome back. I'm glad to have you all here. If you're here at all, I'd come back with a better, more coherent thoughts about Jujutsu Kaisen. And guess what? I come back with more coherent thoughts about Jujutsu Kaisen. Specifically. So I was watching some today. I finished the series yesterday, I should clarify. Oh shoot, yeah, I did want to do that today. Just experiment real quick. Lovely. I got my roommate to watch it. So I've watched, the more, no. Fall damage is irrelevant, we need to test something. Just trust me on this. Okay. But anyway, so I got my roommate to watch it, and oh, she's so into it too. She's great. It's such a good show. And she's watching it dubbed, I watched it subbed. Both are really great options, both are wildly entertaining in sort of different ways. So I gotta recommend it. I do, because it's just so good. That's not my concrete box. That's my concrete box. Totally. They do! Hey, what's it like to be right? Sometimes, occasionally. I was about to say, and this is what it's like to be right all the time, but like, no, that's not accurate. Ah, well, there goes that. I need a new axe. Hear that? I need a new axe. And chop some things down. We'll chop them down later. I don't want to chop them down now. Personally speaking. Yeah. So she's watching the dub. Both are fantastic experiences. I originally watched it subbed. In part because I didn't realize I had access to the dub. These things happen. But, so good. Worth watching multiple times. It is... There's some series where I just watch them and I just want to rewatch them automatically, and yeah, this is one. It is so good. And there, you get slightly different impressions of things, dub or sub, as per usual. As is what happens when you have a good dub. 41! That's one more than we had yet last time. Ain't that grand? Cool. I check on them, but no. That's a bad idea. Fight me. You know you want to. Oh, but so clear. I've mentioned this before. It's like the one thing I've repeatedly said about Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh yeah. That is just gonna be a hat. Okay. Falls it falls, I guess, but the one thing I've repeatedly said with Jujutsu Kaisen is clearly written by someone who watches anime. And a lot of the references that are in the anime are in the manga, because I started reading that too, a little. I'm not being like the most attentive, I have to get every detail reader for the manga, which arguably I should be. But I'm more going in more generalized, skipping through what I've watched, kind of, there's a few things I'm looking to compare differences on. Like, there's a couple moments in the anime, I love when anime does this, that they get to have as foreshadowing. Because they decided for what was coming up. Like, there's a scene in the first episode, just two characters are face to face, and that's it. And that's foreshadowing. So good. Such a good show. But it's lovely. My experiment was inconclusive, by the way, with that. I was looking for something. I don't know what the answer was. I don't know if I got the answer I wanted, so our experiment was inconclusive. Let me go eat something, I think. Let's put some concrete away first. Then what shall we eat? I'm gonna make a terrible device, I think. Awful thing to do. But it would work. It would work real well if I... Well, no, wait. Spawners have range. That would be the issue. What are you doing? I'll have to contemplate that later. Put salmon a treat, because we do not kill our salmon. We put them in the aquarium. But I digress. So yeah, roommates watching that, and it's excellent, and it's interesting though to compare and see different things in dub versus sub. Like, there's a huge section when a character is talking about their ideals about, do humans have heart? Obviously, it's talking about the metaphorical heart, not like, do humans have hearts? Do they have heart? You understand that. But I feel like there's something lost in the English where it's just heart, when, like, then again, watching the sub doesn't help if you don't know the term, but the term the anime uses is heart. It's, or the dub uses, it's not Shinzo, which is the biological, it's your, like, literal, physical, anatomical heart. That's not the term used, it's kokoro. Your emotional, your metaphorical heart. Okay, is stream quality failing? Because I feel like it might be. I mean, it's not doing great, but I don't know why. Which sucks. I feel like the worst thing I could have done to this computer was upgrade it. Let's update it. The update is not treating me kindly, and I feel like I shouldn't be treating it kindly either. It's only fair. It's accurate retribution? I don't know. But yeah. The notion of the metaphorical human heart, that which exists, that exists. Okay, I'm just gonna chill over here in a sec. Once I drop some things off. There's a part of me that's tempted to just name that chicken Problem. And say, here, I called it. That'd be fine. Oh, I should also... Not you. You go in there. You go in there. I could melt some more stuff down. I could. Not that way. But yeah, so I feel like there's a benefit, of course, in both watching sub and dub. That has to be experienced, and obviously it's perfectly preference-based system. You don't have to watch sub or dub if you don't like to. I know that's the huge argument in the anime community. I mean, I don't know. With my favorite anime, I watched dub first. My favorite anime is Assassination Classroom. I love it to death. When the second season was airing, it was one of those where the dub would come out a week after the sub. So, with that in mind, I would watch the sub the first week, then I'd wait a week, watch the dub. Nope, you're not done yet. So, like I said, I'd watch sub the first week, I'd wait a week, I'd watch the dub of that same episode, and then I'd watch the sub of the next episode. Which should explain all my thoughts about the sub versus dub conversation. Personally, there's also the fact that dub is just, frankly, easier. Ah, I know what we're doing here. we're gonna expand. We have many ways to go. Oh, okay, that's how far as we're going. Huh. No, don't do this to me. Don't do that to me either. That's cruel, that's rude. Frankly, it's unbecoming. I expect better out of you. My cobblestone slabs. I just say things, don't I? Come on, come on. I am holding shift so hard right now. Okay. Ooh, we're working on it. We're almost free. How many is that? 3 or so? Why is it like that? I don't know. Let me do one more row, I think. Okay. Then we'll waterlog that, and then I'm just gonna... Ah! If I just go... There we are. 2 and 3. Okay, we've ended at the orange. Let's go take a nap, as per usual. But the one major thing I've said about Jujutsu Kaisen over and over and over is it is written by someone who's clearly watched anime before, and this is the thing that's been said about it by everyone. I did not come up with this, obviously, but it's clearly written by someone who watches anime. And I think I'm going to steal this comparison made by Mother's Basement about it and Demon Slayer in the it's commentary on Modern Shonen. But I haven't watched Demon Slayer, I should clarify, to begin with. But the thing with it as opposed to Demon Slayer is Demon Slayer is an anime where it takes all the popular shonen tropes and it just does them really, really well. Where every time it goes an episode, every beat it apparently hits just right because it's learned. Jujutsu Kaisen, on the other hand, takes all those popular shonen beats and twists them. And like one of my favorite references with that is Megumi, who's my favorite character, I should clarify. He is the rival character. He is the dark-haired, chill rival to the main character's energetic type. Of course, you can consider him the Sasuke to the Naruto character, obviously. Although I would argue more accurately, you could call him a Killua to Itadori's Gon. Because the thing that defines Killua and Gon, more than anything, for all they might have a rivalry between them, that's kid stuff. Quite literally, between them. What defines their dynamic is that they're best friends, above all else. Front of the red. 3 out, or we'll figure out. Yes, they have a rivalry and they have different views and they want to be stronger, and they want to beat each other. But above all else, they're just kids who are having fun and they're best friends. Now, are we... Nope. Perfect. That's lovely. Cool, and we can always extend off that later. How many? We have 29. 64 minus 29. My dude, someone do math for me, please. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Is 35. I can do math. I definitely did not Google that. I definitely did the math. But so 35, 33 is nope, we need by 6. So 30, so 5. Oh crap. There was logic in those numbers, randomly muttered as they were. But, like I said, more accurately, he is the Killua to Yuji's Gon. Their best friend, excluding the fact that he's not as fun-loving. He's the quiet, mellow type. He's got so much trauma, my dude. They all have trauma. That's kind of one of the things that defines the characters, is that they're all a little off. It's described to do the line of work they're in. You cannot be okay as a person. There has to be something up with you. I don't think I get keep ward. She's a shame. It is. Damn shame. But oh well. So there has to be something wrong with you. Some reason why you can't. Why killing curses, dealing with the worst of humanity is what can define you. I did not think this through. I have no idea how many I'm going for. I did math poorly. Let's get 12. And then see from here. Well, that's 13. That's 24. Okay. I need 2 more. That makes sense. Right? I think so. Cool. But that's what defines a lot of the characters. That's what helps balance the tone. And I am wandering off in my thoughts and not elaborating properly. I gotta apologize for that. I know I can't talk about things in depth when I stream. I always go off on irrelevant tangents. Yeah, that's lesson 6. Anyway, let's check my word stores. Help if I check the right thing. Okay. We have 6 words. I couldn't do it without checking because I didn't want to do it. We didn't exit properly. Exiting properly is important. Shit. That bed is such a problem. Thank you. We can only get up from one side, but when I want to do things like that, irrelevant things, admittedly, can't. But, so taking a look at those anime tropes, Megami and Ichidori, there's one instance of where they actively make a comment about being each other's rival. It's not really about the rivalry so much as I admire you type stuff. So much, and there's a lot just like a fucking shonen tradition in it. If Demon Slayer does all the shonen beats perfect, then Jujutsu Kaisen twists them on their head. Unlike before, I feel no regret. They're friends before anything else. The series starts because Megami selfishly decides to save Itadori's life. He says, I want you alive. And that beat. I could have had it. He knows it's wrong, he knows it's illegal, but he says, this is a good person and I want to see them live. Which is such an interesting way to start a series off. To start a character off as it instantly characterizes the type of person Megami is going to be. Because you think he's going to start off as this studious type almost, this by the book, by the rules character, which we see a lot in anime, and that's not necessarily a bad thing that we see that a lot. But I would love to describe him as a traditionalist who eschews tradition. which I feel like is super complimentary of his backstory. His eggs. And yes, so much eggs. But then there's other aspects, like the fact that, and we're gonna get into spoiler territory real quick. Sukuna does not care about Itadori. He cares for Megami, which, thinking about it, he's almost more of a Orochimaru than a Hollow Ichigo or a Kurama. Because Orochimaru really is the and he was obsessed with a rival character. Instead of the main character's weird powers, I went the wrong way. Maybe I should just end stream. I didn't have too much interesting stuff on me except for all that wood. I just need an axe. I won't deal with wooden axe. And a sword? Am I out of swords? I'm out of swords. I have hoes for days, but I'm out of swords. I might have to like break down and use all of my diamonds. Well, at least I have buckets. Aren't those useful? I am in dismay. That was dumb on me. I could have lived, probably, maybe, if I had reacted better. But I didn't. All those buds, too. This is why we have spares. Well, I'm not going to cut the trees until I get an axe. So help me, I might change my decision next stream. But this stream, that is going to be our rule. We're not going to bother cutting the trees until we have an axe. I think that's only fair. In fact, I won't even bother finishing this until I have an axe. Yeah, I will. We're going to break this by hand, though. Because there's wood up there and I don't want to lose it. That's exclusively why. At the very least, things break faster the farther you are away from them. And this is what I face. Of course I do it to myself. I know that. That doesn't change the fact that it sucks. I get arrogant. I die. Thus is thus. My habit. Frustrating though it is. It's not the thing to move. This should have been the thing to move. But oh well. let that grow. Irrelevant to me. Oh, shoot. And we're at 12 wood, which we'll need to replace at some point. Ah, well. That's frustrating, but we'll live. Excluding the fact that we technically did not. Ah, well. But yeah, one of the things, they're friends and they're motivated by each other because they want to keep each other safe. Also, the notion of going back and the reason why it was a very big deal when Megumi asked Gojo to save Itadori. And yes, I know I should be calling him Fushigoto if I'm using last names for the others, but honestly, he's in my head as Megumi. That's not gonna change. But asking, you can tell, like, him asking Gojo a favor is rare from him. And then you know his backstory a little bit, and you're like, yeah, it would be. I don't know. I think there's a lot to... Let's start one. Those go in there. And then this goes in here. And then that goes in here. Yeah. And that goes in here. Lovely, we're all organized. And everything is going well. What's gonna fall into my inventory next? I couldn't say. But, I don't know. There's that aspect, that definition. I feel like that is what diverges it from a lot of other shonen. Just that feeling of, oh, they just don't want each other to die. But then again, death is treated quite strangely in Jujutsu Kaisen, I'd argue. Not really so much as strange, because, like, I get it. I get where death is coming from in that show. It makes sense for the logic of their world and not, like... Hey. Thank you. I'm trying. To not die, but also waterlog things. It's ineffective. I just need a new diamond axe. I have 2 wooden axes, I know that for a fact, but no. I'm running off of infinite wooden axes. Very helpful. Let me find a way up. Thank you. That's a way up. That was designed as a way up. Wow. That wouldn't necessarily like that. That's just death. I'm just gonna bring more buckets. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh! Well, hey! There you go, you make enough noise about an axe, sometimes you'll get an axe. It's not the axe I wanted, but hey, an axe is an axe. I won't complain about that much. And a bone block? Really? I see. What an interesting way things are playing out. That's weird. That's so weird. That I can put note blocks and note blocks is strange. Now I also need a sword, but preferably diamond as well. But the aspect of care between the two, I feel like, is one of the major things that separates it from a Big 3 shonen generation shonen. Those are words. Those are definitely words that I don't expect people to know off the top of their head either. I should clarify what I mean by the Big 3 shonen. And most people probably know this. But I'm talking about Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Okay, let me do your underside before I go for you. Oh, no, not what I want to do. The exact opposite of what I wanted to do. In fact, if it works, I guess. But there's a certain aspect to the show that is, I mean, it is a show about death and dying. There's a lot of character death. Not necessarily main character death, which honestly, there doesn't necessarily have to be a ton of main character death. But there's a lot of death in general. And it does not shy away from that. Characters are going to die. People are going to die. It is a show about death and the hardships thereof, the brutal reality thereof. What makes a proper death is the question that has not escaped the main character's mind. Oh, no, that's andesite. Okay. He has not come up with an answer to that either. Not really. And I don't know if he ever will. No, not there. Well, if nothing else, I don't have that boat anymore. That's not a bad thing. Oops, no, not you. You and you. I could go deal with those trees, but I really don't want to. Not right now. Perhaps later in the stream. But it is when they show about death, it's important that your characters are actually friendly, that they mourn each other. Even if their mourning periods aren't super long, which that's another thing. You can only mourn for so long before you have other things to do. Not really put in so many words, but that is something that feels like is acknowledged in the show, or at least implied. You can only mourn for so long. It doesn't change. It doesn't mean you don't care about the person. It just means your life is moving on still. Whether you want it to or not, it's not really what it's about. But with the defiance of tropes, Megami is my favorite character. He's this calm, rational dude, and there's a lot of moments where he's like, I guess I lied about the trees. The only one who's afraid in a situation. And you, like, have to wonder, okay, but, like, you have to think, maybe, okay, this can't possibly be that threatening, or things like that. But, like, a lot of that comes from the fact that he's the only one who fully understands the kind of danger they're in. Yeah, he's afraid, but he's afraid because he knows he should be. Well, I think I'm going to go find my bed. I know, I had more thoughts about this, but it's really hard to actually express those while I'm streaming, which sucks. I might have to do just chatting about Jujutsu Kaisen, I swear, at this point. It's so good. It's a series, like, I finished watching it, I just wanted to rewatch it, so I started, and I got really lucky that I convinced someone else to watch it, so I could. It's so well done. The way death is treated, there's a comment a character will make. One of the villains he's like, oh, you're just a child. This character is just a child. And it's the most accurate statement he's made, or that is made about that character entirely. And it makes him, the villain, almost more terrifying, recognizing the fact that this is the cruelty of a child's curiosity. Things like that. I know. That's very good. It's so good. I just think more people should watch it. A lot of people have watched it. I'm not okay with the fact that the movie isn't coming out to, season 2 isn't coming out to 2023, so I'm breaking down and actually reading the manga. I describe it as breaking down because I'm not in the habit of reading manga. I enjoy manga. I think I love reading and expanding more on stories, but I very rarely, like, set out and set aside time where I can just read manga. Anime is easier, and I love the medium of animation so much. It is one of my favorite mediums. So I partake in anime way more than I do manga. It's good. It's so good. It's so worth my time. I do define things by how worth my time they are. Anime, manga, etc., etc. Oh! Okay. It's a terrible thing that I'm placing this here. We never got rid of this tree. Okay. I worried we hadn't, but I thought we did. Oh boy. We should be more thorough. I think we're good. As it's fading, I think we're good. Cool. But, it's a shonen written by someone who understands and said, okay, but let me do this a bit different to shonen. Where rivalry isn't about rivalry, and friends are allowed to be friends. Is this commentary? I don't know. Megami is not dark or brooding. He holds no resentment or jealousy toward, well, a little jealousy. He holds no resentment toward Itadori. He is the sole reason Itadori is alive. And there is a scene in one of the very last scenes of the show, where both an action Megami took that helped Itadori, they've only recently realized has basically harmed both of their beliefs. Itadori's whole view is, I want to save as many people as possible. And Megami is, I want to save the kind of people I think are worth saving. Quantity versus quality issue between them. And both of them have that struggle. Face a struggle due to that. Megami made a decision, and it helped Itadori out, but it has resulted in the antithesis of his belief system. And then both of them, when they realize this information, all they want to do is protect the other by not letting them know. They're great characters, and they're good friends. And then we have Nobara. And Nobara's a gift. She's a total gift. She's so right all the time. Nobara is not a typical shonen female protagonist. And that is so good. So, she's not a, oh, but she's only allowed to be so strong character. No, she's nuts. She's crazy, and everyone knows it. Including her. Like, she definitely knows it. And she's just allowed to be. Like, there's a scene earlier in the anime I was kind of almost frustrated with, because it would put her almost in a, not quite, but very closely in a almost like damsel in distress type role. We don't get to see that fully, but I feel like the end of the anime, the last episode, is meant to parallel the first arc of those three together. Or the last arc and the first arc parallel. Or, it's technically the second arc. But they parallel each other so well. And that's what they're built to do. Let me get my spruce. They're meant to build on the same concept as a show of growth. Let me do the same thing, but better. And I think one thing that's emphasized with Nobara, and one of the things when I was watching I kind of got frustrated with, is we would see Itadori and Megami have these discoveries and these realizations when they trained. We didn't see anything like that for Nobara. And I was kind of I was hoping I wouldn't have to get frustrated when it came to her being a, oh, she's strong, but she's not the strongest. She's not allowed to be the strong one in her group. it's always a fight between the main character and the rival. And that's such a shonen thing. But that's not it. She didn't have these revelations because she didn't necessarily need them. Not the same way those two did. She is on their level, and she's fighting for it to be the strongest just like they are. Frankly, she's coming from a different place. I really hope we get more time to see her train and see her explore her abilities. Because she's got some weird cat abilities. Like, they are strange. Not necessarily in a bad way, but just strange. Okay, you're not down yet. Oh, well, there goes that. I like that characters are treated very well. They're treated as characters first, too. They're allowed, there's not a self-insert type. It is not that sort of story. No character is there to make you feel better. And certainly they do not always feel better themselves. That is also a very big thing. They do not live happy lives, but they live the lives they choose to lead. Tons. Why are you always like this? Why are you like this? I love you, but why are you like this? It's so good. And really, that's what my thought process boils down to. It's just such a good show, and ow, my throat. That was fantastic. I should do more of that. Drinking water? Yes, please. I have these carrots. I should eat a carrot. I should eat more than one carrot. Or actually finish eating one? I don't know what happened there. Gonna be honest, I don't know if I was fully paying attention to what was happening there. But that's okay. We can go put our pane glass away at the cyan, too. Hell yeah. Okay, we're missing lime, and gray. For that. So, that'll be interesting to get eventually. It will be an eventually thing. I know that. It's not a now thing. It's definitely in a... It'll come. It'll come. More sticks. Do I need more sticks? No. But I have them. What did I do before I had things to routinely do and not progress? What did I do before then? For progression became optional, secondary to maintenance. A choice, and not my first. It's a strange place to be. This lipstick's wearing weird. But oh well. I'm sorely tempted next stream, tomorrow's stream, to I've got work. I've got homework to do tomorrow, and that's why this makes me sorely tempted to just do some of my homework on stream. Specifically, one of the things I want to get done is plotting out a play, a modern interpretation of Hamlet. I just want to plot out the scenes. I'm really tempted to just do that on stream. It's not exactly the place for it. But it's a thought. Maybe the reason why is I didn't have a reason why I came up with the idea. Reasons are retroactive for me. But the reason why would be sometimes it's easier when I speak like this to either get a lot of my thoughts tangled, which obviously you see that so often. No. Either I'm gonna get my thoughts massively tangled, or I'll have some coherent thing to say or do or that sort of thing. It'll help me process where I want. Oop! Shoot! Oops. Oops. Well, let me put this away. help me either process my thoughts better or a lot worse. And honestly, I'm fine with either. I'm really not fine with either, but I'll live no matter what, so whatever. I'm gonna have to break down, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to just go make a stone sword. It's a terrible thing to make me do. God, what an awful request. But we have the sticks. Why did I think that in the Arby's voice? You know the one. I'll replenish that eventually. For the skeletons, I'm not going to deal with them without knockback. Which I think is a perfectly reasonable point. Eventually I'll do a spider spawner for string. Not that I know I want the string for, but like I'll do it for string. I wish we could uncraft things in Minecraft. Just not all items, just some items. Like bows. I wish you could uncraft a bow. I think that would be cool. But oh well. Oh, for spider eyes. No. The wide effect area of this is what makes it so valuable in this. But oh well. How have you been doing? You've been doing! Never went on here. But you are supposedly working. You're not fast, but like, I didn't build you to be fast. I should actually start investing in rockets. Anyhow. I'm so tempted to do that on stream, and like, I still haven't decided how my characters die in the end. The thing is, I don't know how many should. The problem with it being a modern reinterpretation and the way I've taken it is there are core themes and scenes I want to preserve, but like, the actual plot is going to dramatically change. For example, one of the big things is I'm keeping to is Ophelia lives. Because it takes place in a modern set. Like, there's some things that are ludicrous and out there. Like, the whole mafia stuff. Totally not based off of real mafia things. It's just generalized crime. Because I didn't want to have to do two rival companies, I felt it was better to push some of the things in that situation with a more criminal subject out there. Peer pressured into death. Damn. Brutal. And we have 46. Lovely. But, just a thought. Like, so there's some ludicrousness out there with the storyline. It gets weird. Different people honestly get backstories. Like, the whole Laertes backstory. Laertes has a backstory. Backstory was required. I just really wanted to focus on Laertes. That's part of it too, I'll admit. It's about personal preferences I have. But with the modernization of it, certain things change. Like that whole absurdities that I put in for the sake of the modernization. Or at least that's my excuse. But the biggest event that changes so much of the plot is Ophelia lives. And I have to figure out how I want to play that out. What is with you in gold armor today? Ophelia lives because she's in a modern situation. She's a modern college student, because a lot of them were college students in Hamlet, and so we're gonna run with that. Hamlet plays lacrosse. The Fort Nebraska stuff is different. Entirely. And surprisingly relevant. But Ophelia's a modern college student. Her dad dies. She hears that her boyfriend, they're not dating at the time. It's complicated, that dynamic too. I decided I wanted to make it complicated. but she finds out her boyfriend, or at least childhood friend who she cares for and was kind of sleeping with. She's not the one sleeping with him, though. It doesn't get me gunpowder. Thank you. That gets me gunpowder. When she finds out he does it, she goes to therapy. Her dad dies and she goes to therapy. I mean, so Ophelia, she backs out of the plot. She's no longer partaking in the story. She's just no longer involved herself. But she's not dead. And the fact that she's not dead completely changes. There's a scene I have to draw. The last Yorick, I knew him. I don't have that line. That can't be there because there is no graveyard scene. I mean, there's a way I could do a graveyard scene. And but it's like, okay, but they were just in the graveyard. Or I could do it focusing on Hamlet's dad, as in Hamlet visiting his father's grave, which could be an interesting dynamic, but it's actually not what I want. But the fact that I'm not actually having the ghost changes things too, because I was actually going to remove the ghost, replace him with Yorick with a weird backstory. Got that, Yorick. I was effectively changing all of that already. I think I'm going to have the last Yorick I knew ratio bit, but I have to go back and reread so much Hamlet. That's also part of the problem. I'm gonna have to go back and reread so much that I don't remember. It has been so long for some of this. I thought I didn't need to remember, so I just didn't anymore. But with a lot of that stuff, I'm gonna have to address it, you know? How character dynamics even change. Oh, that was not the right thing to use a sword on. That's not a thing I meant to use a sword on. You go in here. You go in here. Insight, sign, okay. None of that. One thing to go. Where's my cactus? No, seriously, where's my cactus? Because I know I had it over here. I could have sworn I had it. No, it's in here. Is that a diamond axe? Hell yeah! Let me put it away, because I'm gonna use this through. The thing I wanted. Hell yeah. Okay, I'm thrilled. Okay. But I shouldn't jump the gun. I need to put that away first. Well, something's in the mood to reward me. And who am I to complain? The last pre-work I knew him, Horatio. But there's a lot of scenes I'm gonna have to reread to find their meaning. Because I don't want to just use scenes for the sake of using scenes. Every scene has a purpose when you write, obviously. Like, most people know that. I imagine you, whoever is watching, knows that too. It's just an aspect of writing. It would be a waste if you didn't have a point. And dense writing is often a good thing. Also a reason I like Jujutsu Kaisen. The writing in it is so dense. Episodes have so much going on, but never feels stuck or rushed. Pacing is fantastic. Is this my school? Is this my Yorick? Anyway, but because I change things often for the sake of just because, it means I have to reinterpret things. I have to make sure things stay the same in other ways. I don't even know how many characters die. There's some changes I have to make different, and it's like, there's a scene, specifically the, whatchamacallit scene with Claudius. So there's a scene where Claudius is praying, and Hamlet could kill him, and this is right after the play where Hamlet's like, well, I've assessed you, you're guilty of murder. So there's a scene where he could kill him, but he's praying, and part of the reason outside of Hamlet's generalized indecision as to kill, whether to kill or not, which is valid, fair, whatever, I feel that. It's his uncle, in a lot of ways. This man helped raise him. But outside of that, nope. One of the other reason, he isn't going to kill him is because he's praying. And I think that's a really interesting thing to explore, but I also don't think I have anything to say about it. He specifically, it's like, I will not kill him while he's praying because I do not want him to go to heaven. Valid, damn it. Hamlet, feel that. Brutal, but go for it. Oh. Hey, I forgot about that. Yeah, I also forgot that fact. This is a lovely place, and with the conduit, it's even lovelier. I don't need the breath stop anymore. This pocket either, but this is a lovely pocket. Anyway, so I don't have anything to add to a scene like that. I don't have anything else I can especially say that'll really make it worth it. And there's some things where I'm like, I don't want to affect them because I also know I don't have anything especially interesting to say. What would be the point? So, why would I? And in regards to that, I also want to focus on different things and, like, take the modernization seriously. It's taking place in the modern time where we're going to change some of the Hamlet's reasoning. He doesn't just not want to kill his uncle because of his typical struggle stuff. He doesn't want to kill his uncle because he's never killed anyone. And he doesn't want to kill anyone. I feel like that's a relatable idea. I don't want to kill anyone. I imagine there aren't many people here who do outright want to murder someone. Even if it's out of revenge for your dead father. That is a big ask. That's also why I'm eliminating the ghost aspect. I feel like it simplifies it. That's not what I'm aiming for. Also, it gives me something to Bjork, and I can do some other things to Bjork. That. Oops. God, these minecarts are gonna cause me so many problems. They already are. I'm gonna have to choose a chauffeur for them over there. But, I want to change. His indecision is also just, I don't want to kill anyone. The duel with Fortinbras isn't a thing. Or King Fortinbras. God, no. Those are just ramblings. I might do that on stream tomorrow. I might not. We'll see tomorrow. And when I stream. I really want to do an early stream, but, like, that doesn't mean I will. So we'll see. I'll figure things out, though. I do believe it's just about time for me to wind down. Although stream stats have been going pretty good. So, let me find someone for me to raid. Shall we? I don't know. I need to find a way to, like, casually wear this hat around. Because, like, I don't want to necessarily go to class with it, because it's a lot. But, like, that's not the real reason. It's kind of easy to get in the way of things. So I don't know if that's what I want to do. It could work, but... perfect. I found something great. But I'll figure it out. It's literally never going to be because it's too much. I wore my demonius to school. I should do that again. We'll see. But let me go on our usual spiel. This is the Circuit Board Dragon. Circuit Board Dragon is, personally to me, represented this channel. I would love, or I needed to make animated transitions out of it, so you'll find that eventually. But Circuit Board Dragon is not a name, rather a title. So if you have a suggestion for a name, I'd love it if you could put that in chat or DM me on Twitter. All that information for other social stuff is down below. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a good one. This is Viobit sending you off.